2/3 of our conversation is taken up with little stories. But here's an interesting thing. When we sit down at a keyboard at work and we decide we're going to tell a story, well, it suddenly feels really difficult. So I'm going to share 3 little tips that I've picked up both as a professional journalist and as a business storyteller. Most people have never been taught how to tell stories. And these 3 tips will give you the confidence you need that actually, you know what, you can do this. You can tell great stories about your work. I'm going to explain these tips using some trusty pen and paper technology. As we go through life, what we're doing is we're building up lots of little experiences in slices of time. So hours and days and weeks and months and years across a whole career sometimes. We build up lots of experiences. Pretty quickly, what we then start doing is abstracting out. From those experiences, we start to abstract out the wisdom. This is where your opinions come from. This is where your judgment as an expert. It's all very valuable stuff. Now, when you as an expert are talking to someone else who's also an expert and has had the same or similar experiences to you, you can talk at a very kind of high level. However, when you need to talk to someone who hasn't got the same wisdom as you because they haven't been through the same thing, what you need to do is drop down into a single moment of experience and tell them a story in order to, I want you to listen to this opinion. I have to tell you this story about a time when something happened that helped me form this opinion. This is a very simple process, and you can do it with just 2 words that signal, I'm going to tell you a story now. The next 2 words are really crucial. The next 2 words are for example. So that's my first tip. Just 2 words. For example. And then tell a single moment in time. Here's my second quick tip for turning your important message into a story. Okay, so you say, okay, I think this is really important. For example, you drop us down into a single moment of time, a single experience that you've had. Okay, frame it like a movie director frames a shot. So think, if I had a camera, I'm going to explain this moment to you. I'm going to explain it like I'm pointing a camera at it. So I'm going to give you, where are we? When is it? Who's there? What's happening? I'm going to give you those basics. And when you do that, in the mind of the person who's listening, they are using their visual cortex, the part of the brain that reads information from the eyes. They're using that visual cortex to run a visual simulation of the scene that you're describing. So that's why people say, oh, I see what you mean. My third tip for a more effective storytelling in a business setting is don't be afraid of emotion. Many times I get pushback on this from people who say, look, I'm a professional. Particularly I get this from female clients who say, look, I cannot go into a meeting and get all emotional in front of people, won't take me seriously. And I say, no, that's not the point I'm trying to make. But I'm saying when you're telling a story, identify the emotion in the story, positive or negative, because emotion is very closely linked to our attention centers and our memory. So if you want what you're saying to be noticed and remembered, well, attach an emotion to it. If you want people to change their behavior, i.e. do something about what you're telling them, attach emotion. Here are 3 very, very simple emotions that everyone experiences in work that are completely suitable for work. So first of all, frustration. I'm just not happy. This is not working like it should. This is driving me crazy. That's an emotion. Second, curiosity. Oh, I wonder if that's a better way of doing it. Why don't we do that? Third, once you've done it and done it differently and it's worked, pride. I am so proud of the team that produced this work. Okay, frustration, curiosity, pride. 3 emotions which are totally suitable for work. So 3 very basic tips for anyone to use to improve your business storytelling right now. Well, first, when you've got an important message to get across, you give us the message and then say, for example, and drop us down into a single moment in time. Secondly, when you're describing that moment in time, frame it like a movie director frames a shot and give us the who, the what, where and when. And thirdly, don't be afraid of the how. How does this feel? Because we are emotional creatures and we notice and we remember emotions. Okay, so there are 3 tips in just 10 minutes that will help you improve your practical business storytelling right now. That's just 10 minutes worth. Imagine what you get in 12 hours. Because the course I've written, Stories That Sell, has 12 hours of video lectures and a whole bunch of assignments and prompts and exercises that you can work through in order to tell better stories about the product or the service that you are selling. If you'd like to know more about the course, click on the link.